Good afternoon, brothers. How are you? This is Earl Hill, and I'm here to describe the updates since our last meeting in 2022. These ultimately will affect us in 2023, which is upcoming. We have this is the 27th, so four more days until the new year. So first of all, I want to wish you brothers a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I know we haven't really talked since the beginning of the year. We've talked individually, a couple of us have. And there's a lot of, things that we discussed at the end of the meeting that we wanted to tie up the strings on before we went into next year. So even before our next meeting, January 7th, I wanted to share those updates with you. So first of all, you guys got the logo we discussed. So if you want to put together banners or t-shirts or hats or flyers or anything like that, you have the logo, which has Brother, You're on My Mind. It has the official picture from the website. I chose, there were two pictures. One was two older brothers with their backs turned, and on the back of the shirt, it's a purple shirt that said Omega Cares. The other one was a older brother talking to a younger brother, and I chose that one because of just the need in our community, for mentoring. And I see the advantage of us being graduate level brothers reaching out to the undergrads as important. So I think that's a good picture of sharing our wisdom with them on stress management and depression and overcoming depression. Certainly, all of us, this information will be good for all of us. But I think especially if we can reach out to the lifeblood of the fraternity, which are the undergraduate chapters, we're going to be able to have more impact. So the logo is there. So just use that logo. I had three parts. One had Omega Psi Phi, our official, shield, and Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Inc. The second strand had Brother, You're on My Mind. And then the top strand there has a picture with an older brother talking to a younger brother. So I emailed that to all of you. So please use that so that we'll be uniform in the literature that we put out. So that'll be our logo, and it's our brand. And that's the one thing I noticed is the area of greatest concern is our branding, because we do a lot of great mental health work, but we don't often say this is a Brother, You're on My Mind event. We might have a mental health panel in the community, but we don't say Brother, You're on My Mind. Whereas other fraternities and sororities that have mental health programs, they will quickly tell you, this is a Delta Sigma Theta or Zeta Phi Beta or Alpha Phi Alpha mental health initiative. So I think it's time that we did that, and begin to lead with that in this 10th district. Secondly, Atlanta. Great news on Atlanta. We had a great impact at the fall council when you guys presented there. I wasn't there, but you guys presented. I was in Egypt, but you did a wonderful job because you impacted the undergraduates and the second vice grand. Brother Ryan Thomas was so excited about what he heard there that he put us on the agenda for the undergraduate summit. And Dr. Trenton Frederick, our vice chair, I was so glad when I called him, and I was trying to get him to call Brother Thomas, who I met at the districts last year because he's from Michigan State, and he was our second vice DR here, and we had some great conversations there. But I was calling him, I wasn't getting a call back to get on the agenda, and now I find out, as Dr. Frederick shared, is because we're already on the agenda, and it looks like we have a half an hour to an hour on the agenda, which will allow us to lay out what we're trying to do, encourage them to be involved with us, and at the same time recruit undergraduate chapters. So that's great news. We're on the agenda. So we'll get a chance to reach out to undergraduate bacilli and leadership from across the country. And so our message will be that broad too, because our message is in general to all chapters of Omega Psi Phi and all brothers and the communities we serve, but it's, in particular, it's the 10th district, but we'll be there. I've already gotten my plane ticket, and as has Dr. Frederick, and we are registering, and as we looked at the agenda, we saw we were on there. So that's great news. We're breaking through. We're actually breaking good ground. And as I said, it's important because the undergraduate chapters are the lifeblood of where Omega goes from here, and we want to reach out to them. Thirdly, on you guys, I had sent out the link for the after action report for the programs that you guys are currently doing, and it wasn't functioning well. It stuck. It would not. It would allow you to put the information in, but when you tried to send it to the National Institute on Minority Health and Health Disparities, it was stick, and it was sticking because, and I went back and checked it. The date, they had only allowed the dates in there to be up to last year. So anything with a new date in there wouldn't allow you to send it. So I tried it and put the same information in it, put it as if it had happened last year, and it went right through. So that needs to be adjusted. Now, the next step was to contact some people at the National Institute on Minority Health and Health Disparities, which I did. I made some phone calls and I talked with a couple people, and they connected me with Sister Shelley Pollard. She's actually a Delta, and she's going to help us to get that up and running. I missed her right before Christmas, so she won't be back until the first of the year, but she left me 2 messages that she'd love to help us, and she will update the website, and we'll be able to use that the first of the year. So when she returns the 2nd or 3rd, I'll contact her before the meeting again, and we'll get the opportunity to update our data resourcing, which is key. All of you guys know that any project that you're working on, the key factor is, can you share the data you've gathered and the impact you've had on the community that you're trying to serve? And our first step is showing how many chapters have actually been doing programming and how many have happened, especially since we began to get involved in the 10th district. And if we can show that we have an impact on the 10th district, we're like a pilot project. Our hope is that it will move across the country and internationally with 10th through all of the other 12 districts. So that's the other good news, Sister Shelley Pollard, and I'll talk to her in a couple of days. Fourth, I have an idea, and just thinking about things, and I said, okay, how do we target this? Because I was going to go into the middle schools and high schools and start seeking to bring about change there with all of the violence that we see going on in the urban environments. But the idea came to me that since we're reaching out to the undergrads, if we could focus on places where we already have a platform, instead of going to a high school principal or, this, that, and the other, if we could focus on the undergraduate chapters and do mental health programming on the campuses. We already have bacilli there. I got the list again from Brother Vice DR, Brother Sanya, and the list of all the bacilli and all the 10th district chapters, and I'm sending out the letter before our next meeting, just telling them what we're doing, and I'm telling them that we're coming, and that we would like to come to their chapter. The undergrads they have the audience, they have the Panhellenic Council, they have access to facilities on campus. All we have to do is go and be the presenters or provide speakers for them and go to their campus. We need to meet the undergrads. So I've already talked with Dr. Michael Till, who is the coordinator in the state of Michigan. And we need to hit the chapters around Detroit, around Lansing, Ann Arbor. We need to hit University of Michigan, Phi chapter, Sigma chapter up there at Michigan State. We need to hit New Sigma in Detroit. And we need to hit the chapters at Central Michigan and up at Western Michigan, and those kinds of things. And that would provide some order to our programming. So if whatever state you're in, I know Minnesota only has 2 chapters, 1 graduate and 1 undergraduate. I think that's at the University of Minnesota. But All the other states, we have many places that we can go throughout the year and do programming. In Wisconsin, they're doing some great programming. Dr. Smith there is doing awesome programming. He sent pictures to me of things he's doing. I'm going to post some of those pictures on our Facebook page with the brothers gathering together. You know, if you can get the brothers together for a Super Bowl, you can introduce some mental health things there. You can actually do depression screening at a Super Bowl game. I have a tool that I can send to you called the Beck's Depression Inventory. You could give it to all the brothers and say, brothers, fill this out. And you don't have to share the information back with me. But if you have a score of a certain number or above, then you need to seek some help, and I can tell you how to get it. And within 15 minutes, a brother can fill out that form and determine whether he's severely depressed, whether he's mildly depressed or moderately, or whether they're regular ups and downs. And those are the kind of things. So the Beck's Anxiety Inventory. If the brother has high anxiety, it will show up. Or the Holmes Raw Stress Inventory. And it's self-reporting. They can fill those out themselves. So those are good events to have. But let us focus on doing our mental health programming at the undergraduate chapters. And we can show them how to do it. And then hopefully they'll pick it up just like the Charles Drew Blood Drive. And they'll know how to access local mental health professionals, either on campus or beyond. But let us be the first to come and say, this is how you do it. All right. So, and finally, our next meeting is on January 7th. It will be at 10 a.m. On January 7th. I'll send out the agenda and a Zoom link for that meeting. That's going to be important. That's right before, that's the last meeting before we go to Atlanta, January 26th through the 29th. Right now, I just know that Dr. Frederick and I are going, and we want to have a great outing. We're going to both work the vendor booths, and we're going to present to the whole body. So that's pretty exciting. You know, and Atlanta is my own old stomping grounds. I was down there for 16 years. So I look forward to seeing the Psi Chapter brothers from Morehouse and the Beta Psi brothers from Clark, Atlanta, and the Alpha Sig brothers from Morris Brown is back on the yard, and all the brothers from Georgia Tech and Georgia State. And so, but it will be brothers from across the country, and it's at the Marriott Marquis. It's only $150 to register. The Marriott Marquis is a beautiful hotel, so it's going to be a great time. So we welcome all of you to join us in Atlanta then. But we'll see you again on the 7th. Once again, this is the second day of Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa to you. This is Kujichagulia, which is self-determination. So Aberigani, Kujichagulia, self-determination. We're self-determining that we're going to see this through. And I need you guys to show up at the meetings. We had a nice core. We have a nice core. We have some new additions. It's great to see Brother Oliver and the brother Black Falcon out of Chicago. I just look forward to seeing our core people, especially there. Dr. Smith, I know he had something to do, but especially our state coordinators and our officers. I need to see you, Brother Atu. I know you're busy as the, still as Basilis of New Omega, and you did a great program last year. So we look forward. We need you. You're our secretary. You're our detail guy. We have been passing that responsibility around, and if you need to delegate it out for certain meetings, just let us know. But we need you in the fold as we move forward into 2023. God bless you, brothers. Be strong. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.